What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're getting into my Week 17 NBA Power Rankings. So let's dive right into it. A lot of craziness in the trade deadline. Just wow. A lot going on here. A lot going on. But let's look at the power rankings. Starting out with the worst team here, the new worst team. We have at number 30 the Houston Rockets. This team just goes 0-3 this week, just clearly struggling to string wins together right now, just not playing good. Or actually went 1-3, my bad. But yeah, I just don't know about the Rockets here. Actually, number 30 is going to be the Detroit Pistons, actually. My bad. So Pistons 30, Rockets 29. So Pistons going to be staying at the same spot. Rockets going to be staying at the same spot here. Actually flipped those on accident. But, I think that the Pistons are just still the worst team. If you look at both these teams, I think that the Rockets have a little bit more talent going for the future for them, especially with Cade Cunningham out. I know the Pistons have Bojan Bogdanovic. He's having a good year, but really nothing else for Detroit. The Rockets just really lack veteran talent. They also did get John Wall back somehow, so I guess that's an interesting thing. So, yeah, but still both these teams pretty darn close together for the worst spot. And then moving to number 28, staying at the same spot, we have the San Antonio Spurs, but looking to maybe be the worst team now. The Spurs this week go 0-4. So, yeah, rough week for Greg Popovich's squad. We just know that this roster really is bad in general, just not a good team at all. I've been saying it for weeks. The really only reason this team's not at the bottom is because of Greg Popovich and his coaching ability. So, we'll see if the Spurs get down to there close at 14-41, closer than they were a few weeks ago. And then we have the number 27 team, the Charlotte Hornets, also having a bad week, going 0-4. Just not a lot of talent on this roster besides LaMelo Ball. Not else much more to say about this Pistons team this Hornets team that I've already said. This Hornets team's not good. So the Magic are considered in this bad year, staying at the same spot at 26, but it feels like they're kind of in a tier of their own. They're one step ahead of these four teams, but they're also below, I think, the in the hunt tier. I don't think that they're there. It's been like that for a while now, but I'm keeping them in the bad tier. They're going 2-2 this week, so just kind of going around 500 right now. This team has a bright future with Polio playing great, as probably going to be the rookie of the year at this point. You got Suggs. This roster is good. It's time to respect the Magic a little bit. It's a young team, and this team could be good for in the future. This rebuild's gone decent, I would say, for them. We'll just see how the Magic turn out. I still really like this program. This team, like I've said, if they could string like a winning streak together, they could be in the hunt tier. It's just they need to do that. They haven't been able to prove it quite yet. All right, so that's the bad tier. Let's go to the in the hunt tier now. Drop it down a spot. Kind of been struggling lately. The Indiana Pacers this week go 1-3. Just kind of struggling for Indy. We know the limitations on this roster. It's not a very deep team here. They got some talent, but Indiana's we've started to see, I think, the Pacers that I was expecting coming into the year lately, and really are falling out of that spot for the playoffs right now and the plan. They're going to really have to figure things out. Halberton, obviously playing great, but the Pacers need to be better than what they're showing right now. And then dropping down 6 spots, we have the Utah Jazz. This is really because of that trade that they made. They go 1-3 this week also, so a bad week either way. But for Utah, I don't like that move to get Russell Westbrook. I'm just going to assume that Westbrook's gone out of here for Utah. I just don't see him I think their plan is to start Colin Sexton. I think that they believe in him. Mike Conley was kind of the mentor. I mean, I get it. They trade away Conley. They don't really need Conley, Vanderbilt, or Beasley, but they only got one first-round pick for it. I think that they probably could have got at least two. And Russell Westbrook's just not it. If they keep him, you never know. Maybe Westbrook goes good. That would be a weird trade if they do. But I don't know for Utah Jazz. That was kind of wonky. That was kind of I don't know. But Lauri Markkanen, obviously a great player. Jordan Clarkson. This team's definitely not out of the playoff race. They're only a game back. But with that trade, it's looking like they just want to miss the playoffs at this point. All right, and then we're going to have at number 23, jumping up 2 spots, the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors this week go 3-1. So good week for Toronto, starting to get back. They're trying to battle their way back into the playoff race here. I like the Raptors. They got a good roster, well-coached team. Just need to figure some things out for Toronto, and they're starting to do it, I think. Let's see if they can have another good week. And the Raptors continue to move. I mean, we'll see if they make some moves for the trade deadline. There's been some rumors that they're just blowing it up, but, I don't know about that for Toronto. We'll see what happens. All right, and then at number 22, jumping up a spot, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wherever they are. Where are they? Okay. Sorry, couldn't find them there for a bit. But, the Thunder playing good basketball right now. This week you go 2-2. Gilgeous Alexander playing amazing ball for the Oklahoma City. You look at this team, young roster, got a lot of draft picks. The future's bright for OKC, so it would be really good to get some experience in the playoffs for them. That's really what their goal is at this point. And I like Oklahoma City a lot. I think that they have some good pieces, and they have a really bright future as well. So, OKC, not much else to say there. They're just a solid team, competitive team, and are right in the mix for the play-in. All right, but then jumping up a spot here at number 21, we have the Washington Wizards in the playoff tier here. Or play-in, sorry. But Washington this week goes 1-3. So a bad week for Washington. They're really just jumping up because of the Jazz falling here. Just Washington. Obviously, you got Bradley Beal, you got Porzingis, Kuzma. It's a good team here. It's an explosive unit. This team can be good at times, but they could also lose to about anybody. Really, same things with Washington. We know what they are right now. They're just a very inconsistent team, and we'll see if that's going to be enough either to make it to the playoffs. I don't know if it is, or to make it to the play-in. Sorry, I keep calling it playoffs for some reason, but we'll see with Washington. So far this year's not gone as planned. I think they were expecting a little bit of a better team. All right, and then number 20, dropping down 9 spots here. We have the Golden State Warriors. And really, this is because of the Curry injury news again. He is out. So with Curry out, I think that this team is rightfully so at number 20. It's just, I don't know about Golden State. Without Curry, even with Curry, I don't know, man. The Warriors they've not been the same as we saw from last year. Not been the same kind of magic from this roster. Maybe getting up there in age. We're going to have to see with Golden State right now if they could be a better team in the future. But, with Curry coming back, they're just going to have to try and hold their fort because right now the West is wide open. And right now I don't think that they're one of the 10 best teams in the Western Conference. So Golden State, unfortunately, is going to be falling quite a bit to number 20. All right, then number 19, jumping up a spot, making that huge move in the trade deadline to go and get Malik Beasley, D'Angelo Russell, and Jared Vanderbilt. Huge trade for LA there. They did just trade away Patrick Beverly, though, I think for who was it? It was to the. I honestly don't remember. I'm sorry, guys, but all I know is they traded away Patrick Beverly for another good piece. I think a forward for LA. But anyway, the Lakers are really trying right now with LeBron James to keep this window open. They're 25-30. I mean, as a week goes, not a good week. Went 1-2. They're behind right now in the playoff chase, but with this trade, Hachimura also coming in a couple weeks ago. Lakers clearly going all in right now, and with this roster, I do think that they are a play-in tournament caliber team, and I think that they deserve to be number 19. All right, but then jumping up 3 spots here, we have the Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers here go 3-2. Yeah, 3-2. So solid week for Portland. Damian Lillard continuing to play out of his mind, just a generational player for Portland. This team is obviously really good. Damian Lillard's obviously a really good player. I've been continuing to say this. They did some things in the trade deadline to get a little bit better for Portland, but still, this roster isn't as good as I think it's been advertised this season, in my opinion. But Portland, obviously, with Damian Lillard, he carries the team. Obviously, you always got to give credit where credit's due to Lillard. And this Portland Trailblazers team with him is a play-in team, I think, in the West. All right, but then dropping down 10 spots here at 17. And the big news comes out. The Brooklyn Nets obviously going to have to take a big drop out of the trading away Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So, yeah, I mean, Brooklyn, rough news for them. I mean, this has just been such a disappointment. Again, for Brooklyn, another big 3 that failed. Just Kyrie Irving, I think it's stupid. I think this team could have been very good if Irving just stayed. If Kevin Durant, I think that they just kept KD. Man, it was rough for Brooklyn right now, but they did get some pieces back in that trade. Obviously, a bunch of picks to make a run for Brooklyn. Be a playing team. I think that they're good enough in the East, especially with their record right now at 32-22. It's really hard for me to see that they don't make the play-in tournament. They got Bridges from the Suns deal. They got a lot of good pieces, but obviously just a very frustrating Brooklyn Nets team right now. I really feel bad for Nets fans. They were expecting a lot more from this. All right, but going on to number 16, jumping up 3 spots here, we have the Chicago Bulls at 26-28. The Bulls this week go 3-1, so good week for Chicago. Zach LaVine, obviously playing great. DeMar DeRozan, he was projected to maybe get traded, but I don't think he's going anywhere. He's too good of a player for this Bulls team. I think they need to keep him. This Bulls roster, with the big 3 that they have with Vucevic, DeRozan, and LaVine, it could be a really good team. Very similar, I think, to the Wizards, just better here. This team can be very explosive but inconsistent all year long. We're just going to have to see where it continues to take the Bulls right now. I still believe in them, and they come in at 16. But then jumping up 2 spots here at 15, we have the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks this week go... let's see. The Hawks this week go 2-2. So a decent enough week for Atlanta. DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, playing their best basketball, doing good for Atlanta. Same old Hawks team right now, just, I don't know, inconsistent team. I like a lot of these teams. When they're on, very on. When they're off, they're also off and can lose to about anybody. Just very similar to the Bulls and the Wizards, I think. But we'll see with the Hawks. I still think that they're a very good roster here. And they got pieces to work with. All right, but then jumping up 2 spots, kind of getting back on track. The New Orleans Pelicans, this is just about staying afloat till Zion comes back here. The Pelicans this week go 3-1, so good enough week for New Orleans. And yeah, after a 9-game losing streak, they needed this bad to get a rhythm. CJ McCollum playing good in that stretch. And then we got, why can't I think of his name right now? Brandon Ingram, sorry. He's playing good for the Pelicans as well. So this roster is still very solid for the Pelicans. And when Zion comes back, this team can be very good. We saw what they were like earlier. So Pelicans just trying to stay afloat for Zion, and a good week in that for New Orleans. All right, and then jumping up 2 spots here, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. Here, the T-Wolves go, let's see. The Timberwolves go 3-1. So good week for Minnesota. Rudy Gobert playing good. Also, Karl-Anthony Towns, when will he come back? The Timberwolves did just trade away D'Angelo Russell, but I honestly like what they got back with Mike Conley. I think that's better for the Timberwolves. Mike Conley really paired up well with Rudy Gobert at Utah. I think that was a big deal for Minnesota. So I really like that for Minnesota. Actually, I think it was a good trade for them. I think that this team can get better for Minnesota in the long run. Also about Karl-Anthony Towns coming back. When will he come back? There's a lot of questions with the Timberwolves team, but they're playing better than they were earlier. I'll say that. All right, but then that is the play-in tournament tier. Let's go to the playoff tier. Starting out with number 12, jumping up a spot, we have the New York Knicks. The Knicks this week go 3-1, so really solid week for New York. Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson really meshing together well for this New York team. They're playing a lot like that team we saw a couple years ago where they made the playoffs, playing a lot better. I like New York as a team right now. I think, a well-coached team. And plays all together for New York and, playing good. And they're going to come in at number 12 into the playoffs tier with the Nets falling. All right, but then jumping up 3 spots, we have the Phoenix Suns starting to get back on track here. Phoenix this week goes 3-1. Now, obviously, the Kevin Durant deal is huge, but obviously this isn't Kevin Durant right now. He's gone, so I'm not judging this team with Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant is injured right now. So we can't judge this team yet with him. With him, obviously, this team is a contender, but right now, I think that they're just a playoff team without him. Good roster in general around Devin Booker and Durant, though, and that's why they come in at 11, playing good, and with some teams losing. I think that the Suns are a good team and deserve to be in the top 6 in the Western Conference. So that's where the Suns come in at 11. And then staying at the same spot here at number 10, we have the Sacramento Kings. The Kings this week go 3-2. So good week, solid week for the Kings. Just playing like the same. De'Aaron Fox, really good, freaking good player for Sacramento. You got this lineup for the Kings, really playing good. I like Sacramento a lot. I think that they're a good team. Not much else to say that I haven't said before. Sacramento, young team, and really proud of them for getting out of this crazy run that they've not been able to make the playoffs, and looking like they're going to do it this year because they have a very solid team. All right, and then staying at the same spot, we have the LA Clippers. I was debating putting this team in the contenders tier, but not quite yet, I think, for LA. You look at this team going 2-2 this week. I need to see a little bit more. The Clippers have just been so inconsistent this season that I can't put them quite in there. But we obviously know what this team's capable of with Leonard and George. Obviously, it's been an injury-prone team this season that's also derailed their success. It looks like they might want to try and get Russell Westbrook. Would be interesting to say the least if they do. I'm not sure how that would work out, but obviously the Lakers thought it would work out and it did not. So we'll see what the Clippers do in the trade deadline, maybe making some moves. But I think the Clippers are a good team. Um, and we'll see if they can come back and be, the top tier team that we know that they can be. All right, but then let's go to the contender tier now. Starting with number 8, we have the Miami Heat. Going to be staying there. The Heat this week go 1-2. So, yeah, I mean, the Heat with the Eastern Conference, with the Nets trading away players, it kind of wide and open for the contenders here for the Heat. I mean, they were in it last week, so can't say that they're joining it this week. But, yeah, I feel confident that the Heat are a contender here. Jimmy Butler, this team, we all know what they're capable of. We've seen them be the top team in the East in the past, and we'll see what the Heat can do in the playoffs. I think this team can make a lot of noise, and I think that they could even go on a run to win the championship. All right, but then jumping up 5 spots, the Dallas Mavericks at number 7. The Mavericks obviously making the big deal for Kyrie Irving, and that's why the Mavericks are coming up. They're going through 3-1 this week. I've always said that they needed some help around Luka Doncic, and getting Kyrie, I think, is going to be the step that they needed. Kyrie Irving, obviously a phenomenal player. There is some questions on his characters. I'll be honest, come on, dude. She should have just stayed in Brooklyn. I'm going to be honest, but he wants to go to the Mavericks. So Dallas Mavericks, obviously, with Kyrie, I think could be a top contender this season, and one of the new Western team in this after just 2 of them were in it for a while here. Dallas, we'll see how this Kyrie thing, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself here because it might not work out, but right now I think this team deserves to be at number 7. But then staying at the same spot here at number 6, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell continues to play great. I mean, he has been having some little bit of injury concern, I think, in his last game. Darius Garland and Mitchell missed, so that was kind of a rough game for the Cavs. But the Cavs this week go 4-0. So, 4-0. So really good, or 3. Yeah, really 4-0. That's I thought that they lost one, but I guess they went 4-0 this week. Huge week for Cleveland. This team playing really good. Obviously, the offense is explosive. There are some concerns on the defense, but Cleveland, if they're on, it's really hard to stop this team. We saw what Donovan Mitchell could do in that 70-point game, 71. So, Cleveland really deserves some credit here and to be a contender like they have been for a while for me. But then staying at the same spot here at number 5, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies this week go 1-3. It's kind of a rough week for Memphis. I was debating dropping them below Cleveland, but not quite. I think that Memphis is slightly the better team with Ja Morant, with Desmond Bane, with this team. Memphis, we all know what this team is. They're very physical. Obviously, injury concerns with Morant has been a problem, but in the past, but he is healthy right now. So with him, this team is a top 5 unit. In the Western Conference right now, who's gotten better with Phoenix and Dallas. There's some concerns for Memphis now. They're not, just with the Nuggets now like they thought. It's going to be a crazy playoffs, I think, this year. We'll see what all this happens, but Memphis, I think, deserves to be in the top 5 in the contender tier. But then number 4, we have the Philadelphia 76ers here. The Sixers this week go 2-2. So good enough week for Philly. Obviously, Joel Embiid playing out of his mind after he got robbed, according to him, of not being a starter. I think he deserved to be a starter. I don't even know how the All-Star will work if Irving and Durant are out of the East. I'm not sure how that works, but I do think that they still play in the Eastern Conference All-Star. I don't even know. I think it still works that way. But, Philadelphia, obviously a really good team here. James Harden, ever since he's came back, have said it a lot. It's been a huge difference for Philadelphia. They're playing really good and really a tough team to stop. And then into the top 3, at number 3, we have the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic playing out of his mind. Should he be the MVP again? We will see. But the Denver Nuggets this week go 3-1. So good week for Denver. Yeah, I mean, obviously Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, really good to have him back for Denver. This team is just playing together, playing really good, and is the best team in the West for a reason right now. Now, obviously, like I said, the West has gone better, so watch out, Denver. But then at number 2, staying at the same spot, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. Acquiring Jay Crowder also helps for this team. They came up like 5 second-round picks, which is crazy, but Milwaukee goes 3-0 this week, so really good week for the Bucks. This team, Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously, I think he's the best player in the whole league. And with the Nets trading away all their players, a little bit of a, you can get them off your tail a little bit now. If you're Milwaukee, I think that this team should be considered a top. Maybe even the best team in the NBA. Not quite yet, but Brooklyn. Milwaukee with Giannis Antetokounmpo. This team should be considered a top 3 team, in my opinion. All right, but then obviously number 1, staying here for the past, I don't even know, for the past 2 months, we have the Celtics. It's getting closer with the Milwaukee Bucks to take back that crown. But the Celtics going 3-1 this week, you just couldn't do it there. They're just playing too good with Jason Tatum. This team, very good defense. Obviously, Jaylen Brown as well. Boston Celtics, obviously, continuing to show why they are the best team and deserve to be the number 1 team. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching the video today. Hopefully, you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your power rankings. And anyway, peace.